Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I have a box for you. I normally do cards and it's absolutely ages since I last did a box, but I was asked by somebody if I would make a roll-up box, which is 4 boxes in one like that, which you open it up and you have 4 gift boxes inside. How brilliant is that? Let me turn it around this way. There's little finger notches so that you can open the boxes up. Whoops. Okay. And it is surprisingly easy to make. So what I've done ahead of time is I have made 3 of the boxes. I'm going to show you how to do one of them, and what I suggest you do, once we've finished making one, I suggest you stop the video and either rewind, or if you remember the process, go ahead and make the others and then catch up with me again and I'll show you how to put all 4 together. Alright, sound like a plan? First of all, I'll start off by telling you the card pieces that you need. I'm using Petal Pink, and you need 4 pieces that measure 8 inches by 10 5/8 inches, and you need 1 piece that measures 4 inches by 4 inches. You need some designer series paper, and you need 20 of these which measure 3 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. And you need 8 of these which measure 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 inches. Now, just to let you know how much that actually works out to be, this is what I have left from 2 complete sheets of DSP. Okay, just these little bits and pieces and this bit. So that gives you an idea when you're planning which designer series paper you want to use. Just make sure that you've got almost 2 complete sheets of it. Okay, it takes a lot, but it is well worth it. I mean, obviously it takes a lot of cardstock as well. I'll show you what I've done so far on this one. I've done those 2 and joined them together, and I've done this one. So I'm going to make another one like this, join these 2 together, and then I'll put the 4 together. So most of the work is done with the trimmer, and I have to say with this job I'm even doing my cutting using the trimmer. If you've been with me for a long time, you'll know that I never used to use a trimmer because oops, it's gone a bit funny. I think it was probably that piece of paper. Yes, I never used to use my trimmer because I found that the blade wore out really quickly, but with our new trimmer it lasts ages and it's super. The only problem I do have is I prefer to have my measurements down this side. So I've taken a sheet of our grid paper, this paper here, and I've cut off the inches and I put it on that side. I also put a little bit of white paper underneath that side so that I can see those measurements as well. Can you see that? I think you can see what I mean. It could have done with being a bit wider, but at least I can see it now, and that's lovely. Right, so to start off with, this is, oh, it doesn't like that, does it? I hope that's going to settle down. Right, okay, so this is 8 inches by 10 5/8. I don't think I need the yarn open. Yes, I do. Let's open the yarn up first. And let me try and make sure that I stay in shot for you. So what I'm going to do first of all is the scoring. And on this piece, we need to score at 2 inches. Oh, move that one out of the way. If I keep that down, I shouldn't pick hold of the wrong one. I find that I'm cutting it rather than scoring. Now move it along to 4 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. Then if you take that out, turn it sideways and score at 2 inches and at 6 inches. Okay, now what we need to do, first of all, you can cut this by hand if you want to, but I'm going to be doing my cutting with my trimmer because I have found that it gives me really nice clean cut edges. So this large one here, you see that's square, we're going to cut that square out and this square out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line that up at the score line. Okay, so as long as you make sure your score line is lined up with that groove there and with the groove down the bottom here. Hold on, move that. Okay, and make sure it's lined up at the bottom here, then you know you're good to go. I wonder if I can do this turned sideways so that you can see all of it. Shall we have a go? Let's close that. Right, so 2 inches there, that's my first score line, and my score line there. Just make sure they're pushed up nicely. Right, so with my cutting blade, I'm going to cut down to my first score line down here. So I'm going down to the 2 inches. Okay. Lift that up. It's very strange working this side. And then move over to the next score line. Make sure that's correct, top and bottom. And then cut down to 2 again. And then turn your cardstock sideways. Line up this score line. Okay, so you're still on your first square. Make sure that's lining up. That's lining up. And again, come down to 2 inches. If anything, fall a bit short because you can always cut the little bits at the once you've finished using the trimmer, which is what I tend to do. See, I've fallen short there, but I'm not going to worry about that. Now lift this up, move down to the 6 inch mark and cut again. Now if you cut it perfectly, those 2 squares are going to fall off. Okay, so that's one that's off. Oh, Sharon's opening on Monday, which means I can get my nails done. No more of these. So excited about that, I tell you. Really more excited about that than I am the hairdresser. Right, so just use your scissors to snip that a little bit. There we go. Now, I can't see how much you can see, but there's a score line there. Even I can't see it very well. Right, so there's one there, one there, one there, and one there. So it's 4 altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 4 down here as well. So we're going to cut on all of these. Okay, so let me see if I can still do this sideways. If I get a wonky box, we know why. Okay, so that's okay, that's okay. Move this up, cut down to the 2 inches, lift up, move it down to 6 inches and cut. Move it along to the next score line. Make sure they're both lining up. Move this one down to 2 inches. Move down to 6 inches and cut. Lift that up again. Move over. Next score line. And that's lining up. Then down to 2 inches. It's also a lot quicker doing it like this. And 6 inches. Now this last one, because it's so thin, I find it easier to turn my cardstock around. Okay, so there's my last line, my last score line, and there. I think I just pushed that, did I? Maybe not. Okay, so again, 2 inches, lift up, 6 inches, and cut. Okay, so it's all of the cut lines done. None of this worrying about cut out the score line and whatever. If anybody's been with me that long, they remember I used to say cut the actual score line right off. Right, that's far enough, far enough, far enough. That's a bit short. That one's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Right, now I'm going to move this out of the way just for a moment. Right, now we need to, first of all, with this end, with the thin ones, what you need to do is you need to cut these off, and we're going to do a wedge. So if you come in about 1/4 of an inch, okay, so that's what that looks like there, and the same here. Okay, those two rubbish. Now, where you've got this one here, the thin one, fold the second big square in on both sides. Okay, so what you've got is you've got that which is going to be your box lid, so that's going to be the flap inside, and you've got the big bit here where you've cut the 2 big squares off. Okay, so it's the second one along that you need to just fold it inside. Now once you've folded those inside, bring your trimmer back. I'll try and do this all sideways. I should have prepared another one just in case I make a mistake. Right, am I in screen? Yeah, that's good. Now line this up at 5/8 of an inch, which is there. Okay, close it and then slice. So you've sliced those 3 bits off. Now keeping these 2 folded inwards. Now you can't line this up at 5/8 because we've cut a bit off. So line that score line up at 5/8, which is there, which is there. Close it and then slice. There we go. So we finish up with this. Alright. Again, we don't need that. So what we are going to do now, keep these out of the way so that we don't get tempted to do anything with them. Now where you've got your narrow flap there, on this here you're going to do a wedge, but you want it bigger than what we did there. That one I said 1/4 of an inch. This one I'm going to say about 1/2 an inch. So that's quite a big wedge. Okay, it's like that one. And then on this side, do 1/4 of an inch. Okay. You see how that one's much, much bigger? So we're going to keep going, and on these ones we've just cut with the trimmer, we're going to wedge about 1/4 of an inch. Don't worry if you're a bit more or a bit less. Turn it over and do the other side. Oops. About 1/4 of an inch. Now this last one we've got to do about 1/2 an inch so that it matches up with that side there. Okay, let's get rid of all that. So now you're finished up with this all together. Turn it that way. Okay, so what you need is some of these, and you want to put one there, one there, miss one there, one there, one there, and one there. Okay, so adhere all those pieces on. Let's bring this over. I have seen 2 videos showing how to make this. One of them finished up having a belly band round it, and the other one finished up making a open top box, shall we say. So that's like a belly band with a base to it. Now I haven't done either for mine. I did think about doing each of them. That's not clever, is it? But the reason I wasn't happy about the belly band was because one at a time please, that belly bands are best done if they are wrapped around rather than to be scored. But because it was such a big one, a big box, it was a bit cumbersome to handle. And the one that was the box was much smaller than my boxes. I don't know how big, because they were in centimetres. And I couldn't quite work out how to do it for my size. If I do manage to work it out, then I will certainly let you know. Now I'm leaving quite a big gap between my edges, and what I have done is I have allowed 1/4 of an inch. If you don't like such a big gap here and all round the edges, add on 1/8 of an inch to what I've given you. Like this, I said 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So if you did 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 instead, that would fill up more of the space for you. And the reason I haven't done my extra layer is because it would create too much bulk inside when this all gets rolled up. If you do decide to do a belly band or even a box, do pay a lot of attention to how you're gluing these layers down, otherwise they'll be they'll get buckled quite easily as they go into the box or into the belly band. I am going quite close to the edge, so hopefully there won't be bits sticking up by the time I've squashed it down and got Tombow all over the place inside. As I say, I'm not planning on doing a belly band or a box. If I do, it'll be so that I can show you how to do it. The first one that I did, which I'll show you, I left it on my desk when I went to bed that evening, and when I got up in the morning and I came in and I saw it, I thought, I think I prefer it without anything, because if you don't have a box or anything around it, you can actually see that it's a roll-up box, and it really does look attractive. And I think to a certain extent, putting it in a box or a belly band, you're covering up, you know, the real beauty of it. In a belly band or a box, it looks just like another box. Right, now to do the finger notch, which we're going to do next, in fact we really ought to burnish that first, didn't we? Yes, let's burnish this first, fold it, and did I have my bone folder out here somewhere? Oh, there it is. Yep, that's it. Right, okay, so fold all these and give it a nice crease there. Doing the little side bits like this was from the video that I watched by the young German lady. Right, so we need our finger notch in here. So you need a ruler and a pencil. Here we go. And we know this is 4 inches. That score line actually is 4 inches, not down here, because obviously we've cut bits off. So we need to mark halfway, and we need the pencil mark to be in the lower part so we can see it from the back, because we're going to turn it over. We're going to punch the finger notch from here, and I am using a 2 inch, no I'm not, I'm using a 1/2 inch circle punch. So I'm going to get that pencil mark in the centre, and I'm going about halfway in. Anything shorter than that, and I didn't feel that I could get my finger in. Oops. Needs a bit of a push to it, because you're going through 3 layers. There you're going 2 cardstocks and 1 of those. Okay, so it looks quite big like that, but it's the right size. So we're going to put our box together now, and you might find it easier to fold that one back and that one, so that when we bring these up it's easier to get those out of the way. So first of all we're going to adhere these two. I know we have seal instead of snail nowadays, and we've also got seal plus, but I haven't tried it, so I can't say whether it's a good option for this or not. They're saying that it's better than, did they say it was better than Fast Freeze, or was that somebody else who said it was better than? Anyway, it's certainly as good as. Right, now once you bring this up, make sure you get a really lovely straight line there. And it's helped by the fact that this has been cut on my trimmer rather than cut freehand by me. Okay, so I'm just pinching that all down to make sure it all gets glued in nicely. And I'm going to go on the other side to do it. Oh no, I've moved my square. Right, let me show you what I've done. Let's do this one first. Okay, so squeeze that down. Look, talk about wonky, I must have moved that. Out of all of these I've done, that's the first time I've done that. Because I've been putting the glue all the way round the outside, I'm not going to be able to move that. Clumsy. Right, now we bring these two in. Remember, not this one here. We don't want those flaps, but the two nearest this plain one. Right, so this is where it's handy that that one will bend backwards. So bring that up there, get a nice straight edge. And then the other side. Need that out of the way as well. Okay, so now that should close into there. Okay, so you've got a finger notch there to lift that out with. So now how do you put these together? The easiest way to explain it is if you have your two boxes like that, you will see at the bottom it's where we didn't put the designer series paper. So that's the bit that's going to get stuck. So what we're going to do, that's the other bit that's not been, doesn't have a piece of designer series paper on it. So we're going to put the two together. So if you remember that this is the top, the bottom gets stuck there, but you've got to make sure you've got the top there. Okay, so build it like stairs where you've got the finger notch like that. Okay, so that bit there has got to be stuck to that one there, like that to there, the two clear bits. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to lay that one down like that and that one like that. So I know these two have got to go together. But first of all, this needs some glue. Okay. That down. That's got to go together like that. So bring it up obviously these do pop out quite easily when they're empty and when you're squeezing on all the sides. Right, now this is where it is adhering. Took too long to think about that, didn't I? That's it. Okay. So there's my stairs. Now I've got 2 more stairs here like this. Okay, so I want my stairs to carry on building like this. Can you see all of those? Which means I got a plain one there, which doesn't have any DSP on it, and another one there with no DSP. So I'm going to stick those 2 together. So I've got all my stairs there. Does that make sense? So right, so I've got the plain one there, I'll show you, okay, and I've got the plain one there, and they're going to get together like that. Right, there we go. There we go. So that's going to go like that. Bring it around. In fact, you're going to go that way, aren't you? This is why I like to do the designer series paper before I put my box together. You see, every time you put pressure on this, you make the boxes pop open. Okay, so there's your stairs. Now we need one of these on this side. So that's what your 4" by 4" piece is. And you just need to score this at 2 inches. Fold that in half. Now we need it to come again on the exposed one. So put another exposed or non-DSP side on there so that when it closes up it's going to be like that. Okay, like that. You can lay all your boxes down like that, right? But obviously you don't get your 4 finger notches because you've got them inside there. Right. Well, I'm not letting this go. So if I lay that there, okay, just give that a bit bit of a press from there. So there you go. Close it. So then you've got your 4 boxes, and 4 boxes. That is looking funny because that's been pressed in again. Okay, so I've got, how many have I got left over? Should have 4, I think. Oh, I haven't closed that properly, look. I should have found something to put in the boxes so that you could see how nice they look once they're all filled up. Right, so first of all this one. I also don't recommend that you choose a pattern that's a directional pattern. I wouldn't be able to begin to work out how to do it on the ends of the boxes, because sometimes they're sitting straight and sometimes when they're open they'd be at an angle. But like this it doesn't matter. Which was the one that was crooked? Oh, that one. Doesn't look quite so bad now. I was going to say what I might do is get bigger squares to cover all of them, but do you know what? I might not worry about that. Right, now this one, got 1, 2, 3, that's it. There we go. And then this one, now I'm going to use ribbons to close mine. The first one I used Velcro, and I'll show you why I wasn't very happy with that. That one, and then the last one. Right, I like to think one of the reasons this box has gone together so well is like this one as well. Really pleased with that one. This is the first one that I made, which, considering it's my first one, it was pretty good. But I used Velcro there. Okay, and also tabs on that one. But if you look at this sideways with Velcro on it, you can see the gap there, the size of the gap you get because of the Velcro. See, it just pushes this apart as well. That one I think really does need a belly band or a box just to keep that in. But I like this one sitting on my desk when I came in this morning. And this one as well. Now, what I did to get my ribbon in, in fact I wonder if I've got a, yes I have. Come on. Paper clip. Be careful because that's still a bit wet. Or at least the glue is. Okay, so keep those two together. The ribbon I'm using for these, this one, is this here. And to punch the holes in this, I used my crocodile and I used the 3/16 of an inch. So I go in there about just above the paper clip. And this goes through cardstock and everything like butter. It really does. Goes like a hot knife through butter. But it doesn't like giving up those punched holes. Right, let's go around and do the other side. I'm just eyeballing that this is level. So it really doesn't look. I don't know whether it's just mine or whether crocodiles are like that. But as you can see, it goes through brilliantly, and that's what, 4 layers of designer series paper and 2 layers of card. Oops. Actually, I might change that ribbon on that one over to this. This one's a lot softer and I find it's going through a lot easier. And just make sure that it's straight at the back. Okay, so that's nice and flat there. Don't know how much I need for this. And I have to say it wasn't very easy tying the other bow either. There's a lot to be said for the Velcro, I'll tell you. I have no plans to decorate mine at all, because I think that this would be something that's just looks nice sitting on somebody's dressing table or something. Bit of home decor. There we go, take those bits off. And make sure that's about halfway. There we go. Let's just trim a little bit off there. That's quite a good guess. So there we go, that's today's project. Isn't it lovely? Really superb. I can't remember who asked me if I would do this. I think it was Joan. Was it you, Joan? make notes on a little notepad that I have on my desk, and I can't find my note. I'm sure it was Joan. Anyway, let me see if I can do this one up. As you can see, this one isn't anywhere near as friendly as tying in such a restricted area. Come on. Is that you? Yes, it is. No, it's not too bad, look. Move it along. So there we go. But I think that'll look nice with that ribbon, don't you? Yes, I do. Okay, so there we go. That's today's project. I hope you like it, and I hope you give it a try. Any questions, let me know. Any feedback, also please let me know. Leave messages in the box below the video. I'll put all the measurements in the box below. At the moment I don't have the metric measurements, but before I post the video I will see if I can get them all worked out. Obviously it will take a bit more because I've got to make sure that I get the right exchanges so that all the boxes finish up the same size and it all builds correctly. But I'm not too bad at doing metric now, so I will have a go for you. I will also put in the box below all the products that I've used and the codes, and also a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you do any shopping with me, please remember to use the July 2020 HOSTESS code so that I can send you free product at the end of the month when I send out my happy mail. And if you've enjoyed watching my video, like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button down there in the bottom right hand corner. And in the meantime, please take care, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy crafting. Cheerio.